uko kuno abo bano mamuona kere nai ano vura meso ano vura nzebe ano kaya marigi kama kweto tikom kweto tikom usasai kama kwe ano kaya marigi
kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa pane pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugova ne.com kamba kwe vanogaya mari vanotaura mari vanoziya mari kamba kwe vanotaura feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei vanhu tererei zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei mirai ndikudzei kuti chokwadi pano chizere kamba kwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotaura straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence
entertainment current affairs and news kamba kwe .com usasarire kamba kwe anukaya mari.
Right, 24 June 2021, and today I've got a very, very quick discussion on the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. So what has happened this week made me very, very sad, because Mr. Kalipani Pogen is one of my guests here on an almost weekly basis. And he put out a video in which he reacted to Commissioner Obert Gutu. So what has happened is President Mnangagwa has set up a commission. So there are new people who've been appointed there. And Commissioner Obert Gutu is one of the commissioners in charge of the complaints handling, investigations, and legal services. So Commissioner Gutu went out and he made a speech, which I'm going to play for you. And then Senator Kalipani Pogen responded very, very angrily. And I want to deal with the issues arising from this response, because I think there is a big issue coming up. There is a big, big problem arising in terms of Matabeleland. And if it's not addressed, I've said this a lot, if this issue of Matabeleland is not addressed properly and responsibly, it can go on for years and the real victims are going to suffer. So let's start with Senator Kalipani Pogen's response, and then let's go to Commissioner Gutu and hear what he said.
Now, I don't want to dedicate much of my time on Gutu. I've already said he's an excuse of a human being. He's an embarrassment not only to his family, he's an embarrassment to the NPRC, not only NPRC, the country, is an embarrassment indeed to humanity. It's an excuse of a human being, I've already said. But what I find funny is what is small and tiny. What is this small, tiny fraction he's talking about? 20,000 to him is small, tiny fraction. 20,000 people and more who were killed indiscriminately so. Unarmed civilians, infants, some of them unborn yet still in their mothers. He says it's a small, tiny fraction. It's insignificant. Why? Because of their ethnicity. They are insignificant. They mean nothing to us. This commission is so important, we cannot dedicate ourselves and a large chunk of our time to dealing with it. Their injustice will not be remedied. We don't care. I'm not sure who's bidding this privileged excuse of a human being he's talking for. I don't know. I don't know whose bidding he's doing. But I know that no one can disagree with me that if Gutu has been useful, at least he's been useful in one thing. to exposing this NPRC that it's not worth the paper it's written on.
Right. So there are a number of issues that are coming up from here, which I'm going to address. But I want to say to you that I've engaged with Senator Kalipani Phugeni this morning. And he said to me, before he said this statement, he had not listened to the whole 17 minutes statement by Commissioner Gutu. And I've got a lot of respect for Phugeni, but I think in this particular case, he received a weaponized video. So I want to play for you the video, a short 2 minutes of Commissioner Gutu speaking about Gukurahundi. And then I want to address the issues that are arising, as I said. So let's hear what Commissioner Gutu said.
In Zimbabwe, the issue of Gukurahundi. As a new commission, can you highlight how you're going to check on that issue?
Oh, I actually saw that person coming. The issue of Gukurahundi, is one of several other issues on the agenda of the commission. I know maybe you raised the issue of Gukurahundi maybe because it is the most, I believe, the most talked about perhaps, the most written about each time I go to social media or even mainstream media. When people talk or write about the NPRC, number one topic is Gukurahundi. Yes, we are dealing with that, and I'm happy that we have actually, I think, come on board at a very exciting time. The Second Republic has set its goals very clearly in terms of the National Development Strategy 1. And in terms of NDS 1, as you know, the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, we fall under the governance pillar. So part of the governance pillar is to ensure that there is justice, there is restorative justice, there is reconciliation. If there are any wounds from the past, we should try by all means to heal those wounds. So the way we look at it, Gukurahundi, we look at it as an episode that we are already seized with. I've already told you that we are dealing with these eminent personalities who have a very deep and extensive experience in matters to do with peace building. And if you talk of people like Mr. Nyati, for instance, Mr. Nyati is based in the Western Province in Bulawayo. He's a cultural fundi with very deep and intricate grassroots knowledge of even what happened during that said episode. So yes, I can assure you that this commission has been, fortunately, we have actually been mandated by the Constitution. And even when we were sworn in, the President himself, President Mnangagwa, was very clear to say, you should try to go out there and get a closure to Gukurahundi. Because I think it's a subject that keeps on popping up. Especially now that we are getting towards the next elections. It's a subject that sometimes is also misconstrued. It's politicized and all that. So the good thing about the commission is we are going out there to ensure that we have, as a nation, we move forward. There is closure. It's an impartial process. It's a non-political process. It's a process that is going to deal with issues from the grassroots. As I'm talking to you now, there's actually a team of our investigators in Matabele North, Matabele South, and Bulawayo provinces who are actually talking to grassroots people about the issue we just talked about. We've already started the process. Maybe we may not be talking too much about it because we don't believe in blowing our own trumpet. We want to have the results. Let us have our actions speaking louder than our words. Thank you.
Right, so I'm not going to talk for very, very long today. All I want to say is that what President Mnangagwa is doing with the issue of Gukurahundi in Matabeleland, I think it's a very, very good thing that he's doing. I've said this before, this issue needs to be addressed. But I think there is a problem that the people want to prescribe who should be in the commission. And I think this is what has happened when people saw that a commission has been appointed and people are now on the ground. They are trying to derail the process. And I think this is a dangerous move that people are making. The real victims of Gukurahundi in Matabeleland, they need their birth certificates, they need reburials to be done, and those are the things that need to be done. However, the reaction that Senator Kalipani Pogen did yesterday, I've talked to him about it, and I hope that I'll be able to address this with him on Saturday. I think it's not helpful. And this is mostly coming from the educated guys in Matabeleland who are supposed to be helping the situation. I think we have a serious problem where guys are not understanding what is happening. Something is finally being done about the issue, but guys want to keep looking backwards. They are not wanting to move forward. And this is something that needs to be addressed. I know there are a lot of people that have a lot of pain from this issue. Senator Pogen told me that his grandfather was killed during that period. And I'm sure that this is some of the reasons why you see he's got such a very, very strong reaction when he sees this topic being addressed. And I'm sure the commission is going to do a much better job of explaining. They need to come to platforms where they are presented with an opportunity to talk continuously and also give people a chance to speak in a responsible way. And I think at the moment, what is happening, we're just on the verge of people trying to decampaign the commission. So the people that are running this commission must do a better job of marketing, of explaining to people what is happening in terms of the mandate, the processes. Where are we with the process? So if they send people to Matabeleland to look or to talk to the community, they should communicate that. People should see the progress. And I think at the moment that is not there. I see that Senator Kalipani Pogen has joined me. So let me put him into the studio and let us talk to Senator Pogen. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you, Kambakwe? Good evening to the listeners, wherever they may be.
Very well. Very well. I'm sorry that I had to start before you joined me. But as I said already, I'm sure you saw my introduction. I have a deep understanding of how you feel about this topic, but I feel that your reaction was very, very strong and did not take into account everything that Commissioner Gutu had said. Do you have any change of heart in terms of your statement about NPRC and about Commissioner Gutu?
No, if there is anyone who needs a change of heart, it will be Obert Gutu. And if NPRC has not yet written a statement with regards to that clip doing the rounds, I have no change of heart whatsoever. As I already told you, it is my informed view that he spoke internal matters, which were always their intention. And that is why, up to now, they have not done anything. Let me take you somewhere, Kambakwe, just to show you how decent people behave and what happens under these circumstances. It's a bit unrelated in the sense that the characters involved were not in governance of a country and trying to heal such wounds of the past. What I'm going to read for you now actually explains how Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was a prolific striker for Manchester United. So the article which I'm going to forward to you says Alex Ferguson, who was the manager then, Ruud van Nistelrooy apologized for how his time at Man U ended. So you'll have to indulge me a bit because it's a very important topic. We will have to do justice just for you to understand where the victims are coming from. And even as I speak here, magnifying their feelings, you need to appreciate. So the article goes like this. Like David Beckham and Roy Keane, Ruud van Nistelrooy is a Manchester United legend who saw his time at the club end in acrimony. However, unlike his former teammates, Van Nistelrooy would later apologize to Sir Alex Ferguson for how his Manchester United career came to an end. The Dutchman centre forward was Ferguson's talisman between 2001 and 2006. He was one of the most prolific strikers to ever play for Manchester United and helped them win the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup. In 2019 games for Red Devils, Van Nistelrooy scored 150 goals. Only Wayne Rooney scored more goals for Manchester United in European football. However, his time at Old Trafford ended in bitter fashion, and the problems began a year or so before he left the club. Van Nistelrooy frequently complained to Ferguson and assistant coach Carlos Queiroz about Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portuguese star was still developing his game at the time. He would often delay passes in order to beat his direct opponent a couple of times. Meanwhile, Van Nistelrooy had been accustomed to David Beckham delivering pinpointed crosses into the penalty area for him to finish. That changed when Ronaldo took Beckham's place on the right wing. Van Nistelrooy was impatient and regularly lost his cool with Ronaldo. Gary Neville and David Bellon were also targeted by the former PSV Eindhoven centre forward. The incident, and I'm coming to an end now, the incident which effectively ended Van Nistelrooy's Man U United career occurred in February 2006. The Dutchman launched a verbal assault against Ferguson during the League Cup final in Cardiff, a match the club won 4-0 against Wigan. Ferguson brought in Patrice Evra and Vidic against Wigan and left Van Nistelrooy on the bench. The pair had recently joined the club and the manager wanted to give them a taste of success in the final game. And then Sir Alex Ferguson will go on to say, I turned to Ruud and said, I'm going to give these two lads part of the game. They were going to get a touch and the smell of winning something with Manchester United. And then that's when Van Nistelrooy lost it with the coach. And then it says, I would always remember that, could not believe it. Carlos Queiroz turned on him. It became fractious in the dugout. The other players were telling him, behave yourself. Several years after the incident, Van Nistelrooy confirmed that he launched a tirade against Ferguson. In an interview with 11 Sports, he was asked if he called his former manager a Scottish pig. I called him something. I called him a number of things in a blind range, Van Nistelrooy said. Cocky and stubborn as I was, I couldn't snap out of that for some time after. That's how it all crashed. It was just really disrespectful. There were lots of other people there. It wasn't all that outrageous in terms of words, but it was completely out of order, not done. I wasn't proud of it. I am not. But
okay,
I was saying to you,
are you
this
still there?
incident is not the one that got him out of Manchester United. This is the incident now that eventually got him kicked out of Manchester United that I'm about to read. Ferguson claimed that Van Nistelrooy's behavior became worse and worse after the incident in Cardiff. He had a training ground row with Ronaldo and asked, now this is the point that I was driving to come back, and asked if he was going to complain when he had this training pitch fight with Ronaldo. He then asked Ronaldo, are you going to complain to your daddy? Van Nistelrooy was referring to Manchester United coach Queiroz, who was Portuguese and close to Ronaldo. However, this is the important part. However, Ronaldo's father had recently passed away, and he took great offense to his teammates' poor choice of words. And it became clear that Van Nistelrooy could not remain at Old Trafford for much longer. Van Nistelrooy was not referring to the death of Ronaldo's father, but his poor choice of words cost him his job. It doesn't matter what he had said to Sir Alex Ferguson before. His poor choice of words, when a teammate had lost his father, he chose poor words, and those words cost him his Manchester United career.
And today he is apologizing for those poor choice of words that he used. I don't know why I'm even here. The person who should have been here is good to hear apologizing for those poor choice of words. You would have heard many reporters saying the words which or the response by victims from Midlands and Matabeleland, some of them cannot be printed or repeated in a family friendly platform. So the choice of his words were extremely offensive. They were completely out of touch. And I am surprised that some people still think that there is a way out or there's something that can be explained out of those words. There's nothing to explain out of those words. He's not the first one to say such inflammatory words. Others before him have apologized and say we've used wrong words. In the future, we'll use better ways to describe what we want to say or to express ourselves. That is the case here. The extremely poor choice of words.
Okay, I think, Senator, we need to maybe go a bit deeper into this. Let's start with your views on the NPRC. Is the NPRC the right tool? Do you believe it will do a good job?
Well, based on what we are talking about now, based on what Obert Gutu said, it really is immaterial for whether I or I don't. What matters is how the people, especially on the subject that we're talking about, feel. And I'm sure you know the answer to that they do not think so. So that is what you ought to be dealing with. A Pogen is really immaterial, as you can see that some of us, I told you last time when I was in a platform, I've never even been consulted or asked about my loved ones which I lost. So really, it's immaterial. But you go and follow groups that have been helping victims of Gukurahundi. You've seen they've issued a statement. You saw Obert Gutu issued a statement. I want to read you one more statement I got from one of the victims. I need to read you. He sent me this statement after he saw my video. I just want to read for you. It's one of the many, by the way. This is what he said. He says, "Ya kunzima ndoda. Uyilahlile umfana lo Gutu. If they fail to reprimand him, hayi, I give up."
Okay, I think we've got a problem with Senator Phugeni's network. But the question I was going to ask him was, which part of the statement by Commissioner Gutu was a problem? So I'm sure we will never agree on this statement. And I'm happy that Senator Phugeni came here today. So what I will do is I will try to get hold of Commissioner Gutu and we have a chat, because people don't know how dangerous this topic is. If people don't handle it carefully, it can become explosive. It can tear the country apart. So I would like to see a day when Senator Phugeni and Commissioner Gutu, they sit together and they realize that they're the leaders and whatever they say has got an impact on people. And then the use of inflammatory language, I think something needs to be done so that tempers are not raised. Because at the moment, if this continues, if this process that is underway now, that President Mnangagwa has put in place, fails to work, there will be very slim chances of a nationally acceptable program to come in place, which can work. Because so far, a lot has been done. And I think if there are people who are able to talk to these leaders to say, when you go in public, don't use inflammatory language, don't or sensitize people on how to talk about such an issue. Even the commissioners, if they can go for language training to say how do you address a topic without looking arrogant, and also to the other people in Matabeleland, the journalists, the guys who are in positions like MPs, senators, if they can learn to cool down tempers so that this issue gets resolved. There's no, even if you describe in the worst words, the pain of the people, there still needs to be a solution. People need the problem to be resolved. And I think that is being done on the ground. The problem is if you do not communicate properly, the people that are outside could actually end up harming the process, because someone wants to prove a point. Everyone wants to prove a point. And in trying to prove a point, we then derail the whole situation. And don't be surprised if when you're trying to solve one problem, you create another one. Senator Phugeni is back, and I hope he's got his network sorted now. Senator Pogen, I'm sure you were listening to what I was saying.
No, I didn't hear a thing, but just allow me to finish this for you, because I think I was trying to tell you that it's immaterial how I feel.
Okay, I don't think this is ever going to work. I don't think the network is going to ever allow Senator Phugeni to finish. Let's try again. You can proceed. Okay, I'm sure this is not going to work. But anyway, I think let's go to the comments. Let's go to Roy Hill. If the commission is dealing with the issues, why hasn't our family been contacted concerning my brother who was murdered during Gukurahundi? So I want to address your comments, Roy, and I hope that the commissioners one day do come here and talk to us. The commission does not go to everyone. They've put out their numbers on their website. If you lost your relative, or if something happens to you today, it doesn't have to be Gukurahundi. If something happens to you today, so please go and watch that video by Commissioner Gutu. You can phone the commission and tell them that you've got a complaint, or you have an incident, or you have a dispute, or you have a victim. Then they will deal with your issue. They cannot find everyone as a commission. So I think, Roy, deal with that issue in terms of there is a phone number that you can get on the website of the national. In fact, I think I'll try to get the number to you here if I do have it. There's a number in Harare. So let us try to type it out. I'm sure this is going to be quite difficult. I have to use my cell phone, but it's +263 242 791 757 and +263 242 792 6769. So if you go to gambawe.com, you'll find these numbers. The point that I'm trying to make is, if you try to make this, the commissioner must come to me, then it won't work. What you need to understand is, if your relative was killed, like Roy is saying here, the commission was set up for that very purpose. What you need to do is to address the issue with the commission. So if they're on the ground in Matabeleland North and Matabeleland South and you can't get them, call them on the numbers that they have on the website. Then you'll get this sorted. However, if you try to follow pressure groups or people that are in politics, then your individual issue won't be resolved. You will be able to resolve your own individual issue. Let's say you're looking for a relative or you need a birth certificate. If you contact the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, because they've got the mandate to help you. But the other people, they don't have the mandate to help you. Some of them are not even victims and they don't understand. So let's go to another, let's find another comment here. Right, Colette is saying sometimes media is not good. I don't understand. I think we need the media to address these issues without hiding them, but also in a non-partisan manner. I've realized that there are media in Matabeleland who are inflating or making the situation worse by trying to produce information in a way that is not helpful. That's why I was saying people need to work together on this issue. If this issue is not solved now, remember during Mugabe's time, you could not say the word Gukurahundi. You will be thrown into jail. In the period of President Idi Mnangagwa, this issue is being resolved. And I'm sure that it would be great if everyone was to pull together on this topic. And Senator Phugeni, you're back. I hope you're now on a better network provider.
No, I have no control over that. Unfortunately, I didn't hear what you are saying. I think when I came in, I had to speak about H's name. He is not involved at all in this thing. And if there's anyone who, if whatever efforts he's doing, he should blame for affecting those efforts, it will be good to himself. Those comments are not helpful at all. Doesn't matter how much spin you may want to do here. You see, if you are dealing with a victim-led process, you must be sensitive to how the victims feel. So this whole tactic of trying to bully people to silence is not going to work. It will not work at all. I want to read something for you. I hope the network won't fail us this time. Yeah, kunzima ndoda, uyilahlile ndoda kogudu. And if they fail to reprimand him high, then it was deliberate. Now listen to this. This is the most touching part. Ndoda mina, I'm still vividly clear of what happened to us on the 12th of February 1984, on Sunday, from 6 a.m. in the morning to around 3 p.m. I buried 6 of my friends and neighbors in a shallow grave using bare hands. I witnessed cruelty you cannot imagine. You cannot imagine human beings can be subjected to such. My heart is still bleeding, to say the least. Mina, what happened kuzongisalisa ezulwini ndoda, it's true. Now, these are human beings, by the way, in the image of God, which I think are missing. They may not have a platform. They may not have a voice like you have, Kambakwe. This is just one of the few, by the way. Another one who wrote to me here, unfortunately, she has lost her voice, and she says, uyazi uGutu yinja shem, uthole ngingasakhulumi. This person wanted to express themselves. Another one writes here, he says, I can read for you many statements. Others I can't read because of the language that they deploy. Now,
okay, Senator, please allow me to ask you a question. Do you understand that Gutu was taken out of context in his statement? That is my belief. I've played here a video of him speaking, and in all his speech, he explained carefully what is being done by the commission. He even has participants today. They were meeting today. They are not doing a process that is not following all the right processes. I believe that he was weaponized. There was a weaponized edited video that went out, and people are reacting to it. No, is that not a possibility?
There is nothing weaponized, Kambakwe, and I know you know exactly what you are involved in. You are trying to do PR for Gutu. I don't know why you are doing that for him. He should man up when he makes a mistake and come up and apologize. That video was not doctored. They used his words. The gestures are his gestures, and the body language is something that we know very well. You go and look at how he speaks about the whole issue. Look at his body language. Take out the words and look at his body language. This PR that you are doing for him, you are making it worse for him. Because the very same people which he purports to want to save, he's not going to be able to save them. He must just man up and come and apologize. Those were his words, which he said after having said good things. He said good things, and then he came later and said those words. Now, remember, the people of Matebele and the Midlands have always been saying, let's have a commission of inquiry over this issue on its own. It was put under this same commission which Gutu wants us to believe that is serving there wholeheartedly and wants to solve something. The man simply says this is one of the small things. You won't believe the things we are dealing with. As you know, it's like he's talking about really, really nothing. What is nothing about 20,000 people dying in the manner they died?
Okay, that's why I'm saying.
I've read your statement here of someone who remembers the date from 1984, the time to what time, and he has not recovered, having to dig a grave using his bare hands. If you are a human being, Gambak, you must be touched by that. And
okay,
you know
Senator,
that this matter
Senator, let me
ought
explain.
to be sensitive. You must.
Let me explain.
You see, when we're getting these commissioners, allow me to speak, Mbakwe, please. Otherwise, you have no benefit of calling me here. You see, when you are getting these commissioners to deal with, you need a master's degree in whatever discipline. You need people who also have a degree in empathy and discipline.
Okay, so I want to go back to what Gutu said. Well, Senator Pogen is getting his network back. I think we need to separate two things, Senator. The genocide happened, but I think we need to separate the genocide from the process that is happening now, which is the solution. So if we're talking about what happened, yes, it happened, but it needs to be solved. And what the president is trying to do is to solve that problem, which is what Gutu is doing here. Is it not possible that maybe people just don't want Gutu as a commissioner?
Why? What is wrong with Gutu? Do you think we're that petty? What has Gutu ever done to them? People are not that petty. That's the problem with you. We are deflecting. You always want to blame the victims. Why do you want to blame the victims? Do you think all these people are stupid? That they just wake up in the morning, we don't like Gutu, and then we're just going to pretend that his words are inflammatory?
Okay, let's play his words. Just allow me to play his words, so that, because I think it's unfair. As a senator, I also expect you to give him fairness. So let's hear him out.
Impending Zimbabwe, the issue
what
of
is unfair? You don't.
As a new commission, can you highlight how you going to check on that issue?
Oh, I actually saw that person coming. The issue of Gukurahundi, is one of several other issues on the agenda of the commission. I know maybe you raised the issue of Gukurahundi maybe because it is the most, I believe, the most talked about, perhaps, the most written about each time I go to social media or even mainstream media. When people talk or write about the NPRC, number one topic is Gukurahundi. Yes, we are dealing with that, and I'm happy that we have actually, I think, come on board at a very exciting time. The Second Republic has set its goals very clearly in terms of the National Development Strategy 1. And in terms of NDS 1, as you know, the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, we fall under the governance pillar. So part of the governance pillar is to ensure that there is justice, there is restorative justice, there is reconciliation. If there are any wounds from the past, we should try by all means to heal those wounds. So the way we look at it, we look at it as an episode that we're already seized with. I've already told you that we are dealing with these eminent personalities who have a very deep and extensive experience in matters to do with peace building. And if you talk of people like Mr. Nyati, for instance, Mr. Nyati is based in the Western Province in Bulawayo. He's a cultural fundi with very deep and intricate grassroots knowledge of even what happened during that said episode. So yes, I can assure you that this commission has been, fortunately, we have actually been mandated by the Constitution. And even when we were sworn in, the President himself, AG, President Nagawa, was very clear to say, you should try to go out there and get a closure to Gukurahundi. Because I think it's a subject that keeps on popping up, especially now that we are getting towards the next elections. It's a subject that sometimes is also misconstrued. it's politicized and all that. So the good thing about the commission is we are going out there to ensure that we have, as a nation, we move forward. There is closure. It's an impartial process. It's a non-political process. It's a process that is going to deal with issues from the grassroots. As I'm talking to you now, there's actually a team of our investigators in Machiavelli North, Machiavelli South, and Malawi provinces who are actually talking to grassroots people about the issue we just talked about. We've already started the process. Maybe we may not be talking too much about it because we don't believe in blowing our own trumpet. We want to have the results. Let us have our actions speaking louder than our words.
Now, I don't want to dedicate much of my time on Gutu. I've already said he's an excuse of a human being. He's an embarrassment not only to his family, he's an embarrassment to the NPRC, not only NPRC, the country, is an embarrassment indeed to humanity. It's an excuse of a human being, I've already said. But what I find funny is what is small and tiny. What is this small, tiny fraction he's talking about? 20,000 to him is small, tiny fraction. 20,000 people and more who were killed indiscriminately so. Unarmed civilians, infants, some of them unborn yet still in their mothers. He said it's a small, tiny fraction. It's insignificant. Why? Because of their ethnicity. They are insignificant. They mean nothing to us. This commission is so important, we cannot dedicate ourselves and a large chunk of our time to dealing with it. Their injustice will not be remedied. We don't care. I'm not sure who's bidding this privileged excuse of a human being he's talking for. I don't know. I don't know whose bidding he's doing. But I know that no one can disagree with me that if Gutu has been useful, at least he's been useful in one thing, to exposing this NPRC that it's not worth the paper it's written on.
Right. Senator, in my view, and this is my respectable view, I'm willing to...
You must play everything right to the end of what Gutu said. Because you cannot play the parts that you think are good parts. You don't play the part I was responding to, and then you play my response. You must play the part I was responding to. It's just 44 seconds.
I'm trying to show you the extremes.
Part I was responding to. Play the
I'm trying to show you the extremes. I'm trying to show you the extremes. I'm gonna get to it. I'm trying to show you the extremes.
No, you can't show me something I was not addressing. I was not addressing that at all. You need to play the part I was addressing. Why don't you play it? Play it for the...
Let's get to it. I'm gonna get to it.
No.
I want to
back. You cannot try and think you can try and do embedded journalism here. Play the part I was responding to. Why won't you play the part I was responding to?
Let us play it. Give me a moment to get to it. But as we got to it...
What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
I'm saying as we got to it, let us...
what to do as we get to it, play the part I was responding to. You can't play my response instead of without playing what I was responding to. Why don't you start with what I was responding to?
I'm trying to explain to you how I use this content. It's not my content. It belongs to other people. So there are certain rules that I have to follow when I can play such content.
It's 44 seconds. I can send you the part I was responding to. If you want, I can send it to you now, and then you can play it. Now I can send it to you. Right now.
I've got it. I've got it. All I'm saying is there are rules that I have to follow when I'm playing someone else's content, so that this video doesn't get removed. So let us take it.
But you should have started with it, Kambaku. You cannot play a video which I was not responding to, and then completely ignore the one I was responding to and say there are rules that make it for you impossible for you to play. It's only 44 seconds. You've played over 2 minutes here of Gutu speaking. I had no problems with what he said there. Play the part I was responding.
Let's do this, Senator. Let's do this, Senator. Send me the clip that you have.
I'll send you the clip right now. Right
Yeah,
now,
send
as
me.
you speak.
Let's take a
Because
break. Let's take a small break while we are waiting for the clip to be uploaded.
I've sent it. I've sent it. Just let me.
Uyo, uko, kuno, abo, bano. Mama wanna get it, mama wanna get it nice. I know Buddha me so, I know Buddha tebe, I know Kaya Marigi. Kama kwetu tikom, kwetu tikom usasai. Kama kwe Kaya Marigi.
Kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa paninyaya pano zvamnoda kunzwa.
That normally people look at the commission as only dealing with one issue with Gukurahundi. I think Gukurahundi is just a small, tiny fraction of the various other disputes we are talking about. We are talking of issues that happened in 2005, the so-called Analogies. Now we're talking of various other issues, even some dating back to, you'll be surprised, to pre-independence times. People would say that we were taken away from our ancestral land in Musana and dumped somewhere in Gutu or in Chile, for instance. We want to be restored to our ancestral lands, and they come to us. So, yes, separate districts.
Right. Senator, as far as I'm concerned, it's almost exactly the same as what we were playing before. I think I've lost Senator Pogen again.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Do you think your reaction to this video was measured compared to or was equivalent to what he said?
Yes, of course. And as I told you in our private conversation, there's a process to these things to come back. And I'm just consult widely. Before I went to bed on the day, I already told the media people that I'm going to release a statement tomorrow over this issue. I did my own research. I listened to him very, very carefully on what he said. And I was clear listening to the people on the ground that those comments were very insensitive, very offensive. And if he had an ounce of decency, he would have woken up in the morning like others before him and already apologized and say, you know what, I made a mistake. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. You saw his gestures there. It's a pity that so many people think that this commission is about Gukurahundi. Gukurahundi is a tiny, tiny a fraction of our work. We're dealing with issues like people 2005 Mrambatsini. How do you speak about someone's shack being demolished compared to lives that were lost and in the manner that those lives were lost? Remember that there was a commission which the former president commissioned, and that report has never been out up to today. I was reading to you statements of people who lost their loved ones. Yesterday, I was visited by somebody after my video, and they said, Senator, thank you for speaking for me, because my father disappeared in 1985. Up to today, I've never seen my father. Another one wrote to me, said, thank you for speaking the manner you did. I felt like you are speaking on my behalf. Now, he was completely out of line. I don't even know why we're wasting time on this. I should be having my dinner right now, not on this thing that you want us to discuss about.
Okay, I'm just trying to make you understand that there is another view. You have this view, but there's another view. So obviously, sometimes we need to just step back and reflect that when you're resolving a problem, you may end up making it worse if you don't see the other view. I don't think Gutu is malicious. He's trying to solve the problem. In my view, from the way he's speaking, from the people that he's meeting, from the work on the ground, And I think if someone like you was to support this work, it would go a long way in addressing the situation with the victims. And as you say, I know you're a victim yourself. And maybe, have you approached the commission to talk to them?
Well, you are speaking from a point of privilege. That's why you want to think that
Okay, we seem to be having more problems with Senator Phugeni's network. I'm very reluctant to drop this conversation before he completes what he wants to say. So let's go to some more comments. And I want to go to my match. You say, play the part that Gutu or that brought the reaction. So let's play it again.
Pity that normally people look at the commission as only dealing with one issue with Gukurahundi. I think Gukurahundi is just a small, tiny fraction of the various other disputes we are talking about. We are talking of issues that happened in 2005, the so-called Analogies. Now we're talking of various other issues, even some dating back to, you'd be surprised, to pre-independence times. People would say that we were taken away from our ancestral land in Musana and dumped somewhere in Gutu or in Chile, for instance. We want to be restored to our ancestral lands, and they come to us. So, yes, several disputes.
Okay, Senator Phugeni, I understand that we cannot agree on this topic. And I know it's your, what can I say? It's your right to not agree with me here. But my belief is that the leadership in Matabeleland needs to play a role in making people in the grassroots understand the government, what the government is doing. And I think you are one of the leaders in Matabeleland, one of the most visible leaders in Matabeleland. And it will really go a long way if you would try to work within this process to assist people to understand what is going on here. Because people are looking up to you to get guidance on this.
I resent that with the contempt it deserves. Any insinuation that I'm obstructing anything, I'm not cooperating. I pointed out my issue with the choice of words by Gutu. I pointed that out. That does not amount to any obstruction or lack of cooperation. I've been called names in this platform because of supporting the government of the day, which was elected by the people. Now, to then insinuate that by me calling out Gutu, I am obstructive, I am not supporting the government, I resent that with the contempt it deserves. It's very narrow. We are trying to deflect from the issue.
Okay, let's continue to look at the comments. Someone is saying, Gambakwe, you are ZANU winner. You know what, guys? I don't believe in this ZANU MDC thing. Don't always think about ZANU and MDC. It will take you nowhere. And I'm always saying this. Let's look at other comments. So why do you want us to discuss a subject that is restrictions? We want to hear what Gutu said. We already gave you what Gutu said. And then let's look at another comment here. So the real question is, how many of that 20,000 were rebel soldiers? And also Gutu was just saying there are a lot of issues in Matabeleland. Well, I'm saying, going back to Gukurahundi, firstly, no one here was there in terms of the guys who are speaking here. Most of you who are speaking were not there. The people who are in the comment section. That's why the commission is going on the ground to the people who were actually there when it was happening. And as I was saying, the commission, in fact, Gutu said, if you want to address, if you are a victim, you need to call the number of the commission and they'll put you on a list and they'll deal with your issue. So I think the issues are what is happening on the ground is not the same as what is happening on social media. And we need to bring these things together because it's to all our interests to address this issue. And Senator Pogen, I was not saying you're not cooperating. I was saying you are a leader. So you have to go first in terms of understanding what the government is doing.
Kambako, I'm going to send you between you and me a voice note from someone who said to me all along, I was just seeing a boy, a child. Yesterday, I saw a man standing up, not counting the cost. I want to suggest, my friend, that you excuse me. Let me leave the platform. I think we have discussed enough. You can carry on. It's okay. But it was important that I show you that even on a lesser topic, somebody has stood up to apologize now and saying my choice of words were wrong. Then when Ruud van Nistelrooy was the best striker for Manchester United, Sir Alex felt his choice of words when a co-player had lost a father were very, very reckless, and it warranted that he be removed from the team. You can keep your Gutu. I can tell you now, these people that you are saying they must write to him, no one is going to write to Gutu. I can tell you that now. You can do a fast process and all those things. There's nothing that's going to happen. But if we want to fulfill the mandate in the Constitution, we must do a victims-led process. And we must be sensitive to how they feel. Perception is very important in these matters. It doesn't matter what Gutu meant to say, but how it came out now, it had the effect of bringing back the old wounds. And every day we speak about this, people trying to defend him. We are not making the situation any better. So if we are going to assist and if we are going to be cooperative and make sure that the government is helped, is not to defend people when they've aggrieved others on such a sensitive matter. It's to be sensitive and feel with the victims, not come here to defend one individual. What is one individual over so many families that are suffering? What is so important about this individual? Well, even Jesus said, it is expedient for me that I go. In fact, he said, it's better for you that I go. And he told them why. He said, because unlike the Holy Spirit, I can only be in one place at one time. But when the Holy Spirit is here, he can be anywhere, everywhere. There are too many families that are hurt, that are grieved by what Gutu said. What is so important about it? What is his qualification? What unique skill is he bringing here to solve this thing? You must not be speaking for him. You must be actually talking to him private and say, you know what, my brother here, there's a mistake here. Go down and apologize. They will understand you better. This that you are doing for him, you are not helping him in any way, shape, or form. We are actually impeding the work of government that they are trying to do in making sure that this matter is resolved.
You know what, Senator Pogen, I understand this is going to be a long topic for discussion. And what I suggest is this topic, we cannot chew it and finish in one day. But I'm sure we all have a chance to reflect. Because personally myself, I know countries like Rwanda that have gone through a terrible genocide. But as we speak right now, Rwanda is one of the most progressive countries. There is a point when people are going to move and then the whole country has to move. Unfortunately, it doesn't erase what happened. But I think what the president is trying to do here is a good thing. And I believe that on a certain future date, everyone is going to benefit.
Don't HE, come back. You've never heard me comment about HE over this whole matter. I read for you the mandate of NPRC. Last time when we were discussing the effort of HE, my views were there. So don't try and name drop here as a way of bullying me. I had not commented about what HE is doing. I'm talking about the mandate of the NPRC, which is in the Constitution. And I'm saying to you, the words which Gutu chose to use, those words were very offensive. I am not the only one. I am the only one speaking now because I have a platform. But you can't tell me that the people of Matabeleland are wrong, they are irrational, they are out of order. There is just this only one guy who is indispensable. If he had any decency in him right now, he would have said, you know what I said came out wrong. I'm very, very sorry. I subject myself to the collective wisdom of leadership, what must happen next. But to send you here to come and do his dirty work like this, it's a shame.
I don't know, Senator Phugeni. You see, I'm trying to calm things down, so I will not respond to you. You know, Gutu used to be your vice president. I've never had any interactions with Gutu on any topic. But I'm trying to address an issue here, which I think, as a leader in Matabeleland, people need to question the way you reacted, because to me it felt. I felt like the response was quite heavy-handed compared to what Gutu had said. That is my personal.
It had to match the crime. It had to match the crime. Like I told you, you can mobilize all the non-victims as you want, Kambako. You are not helping the country in when we are dividing the country more. I am saying to you, you cannot say all the victims are wrong and one guy who is not a victim, who does not even feel what the victims are feeling, is correct. I'm emotional. I have to be emotional. How can I not be? I have to be emotional. I have feelings. So you can mobilize all you want. I've told you long ago, I am not one who succumbs to crowd or who panders to the general feeling of the crowd. I told you long ago that there's nothing that says like pornography, but I'll never join people in watching pornography because that's the in thing. That's what is happening. That's what the majority are doing. It doesn't matter. I'm always a voice for the voiceless. You know that. When I was fighting for women, and I'm still fighting for their fair representation in parliament, I'm not a woman, but I fought for them. When I fought for the bishops, which if you understand the acrimony between the Adventists and the Catholics, when I was talking to one of the presidents in the Seventh-day Adventists, he said to me, son, I was so proud of you. That he is an Adventist young man fighting for the bishops, Catholic bishops. I fought for them. I will always speak for those that do not have a voice. And I will use emotions if I have to. The comments were out of line. And if it was victims right now saying I was, I took the whole issue out of context, I will understand. The funny thing is that it's those who were born in the right a place and the right surname and the right language that are the ones that are finding offense with the whole thing. And you don't even care what the victims feel and say. I mean, what type of justice is that? What types of reparation is that?
Okay, I don't agree with you, Senator Pogen. I think you're also discounting what is happening on the ground. If there's an investigation team in Matabeleland South and one in Matabeleland North, why are you saying that nothing is happening?
No, I never said nothing is happening. I'm just saying to you, this whole furor had nothing to do with the investigating teams and whatsoever. It had everything to do with words of Gutu. It is words that started all of this. No one said anything. Remember, he was appointed, is it about 2-3 months ago as a commissioner. Zimbabweans had their views about it, but he was there. This thing started over his words. So don't try and pin it on anyone. It's his words that brought us to where we are. And
but the whole commission, the whole commission is more than one man. Are you dismissing the whole commission because of one person?
No. I said in that statement yesterday, the commission is expected to distance itself from those comments. That's what you do. I've just given you a practical example here. Ruth Van Nistelrooy made a comment which was completely out of touch. The club had to do something. How does Gutu say statements that are completely out of touch with what the commission wants to achieve and it keeps quiet? It's not erroneous then to conclude that then this could be a hidden a plan all along. It's not erroneous to conclude like that, because what you do is, as soon as there is something which has the effect of damaging the brand, you quickly act to protect the brand. But look, Ukambakwe, you are correct. There is no persuasion you will do to me. I'm not even trying to persuade you, because to me, in this whole case, I don't think that you've got any role to play, quite frankly. So allow me to eat. I don't want to eat very late at night. I'll have bad dreams. Allow me to eat. You can carry on. If you're carrying on, you can also go to bed. We will meet tomorrow and chat and have dinner or lunch together and whatever. It's fine. But on this matter, there's nothing more that can be said. I've already exhausted everything. That, in fact, yesterday's a statement by me said it all.
Yeah, I found it quite shocking. That's why I had to do this.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You and me had, maybe we might take the audience to our confidence. Yes, we had a long private chat. And I told you that after watching that statement, the whole of it, I then realized that I was even measured and I needed to. And you can hear from other broadcasters how people reacted. They are saying they reacted in a manner that cannot be broadcasted in a public broadcast. So you have me here who didn't insult, who used language that can be broadcasted. But the others use language that you cannot use in broadcast. I don't subscribe to it, by the way. But it was important that the response needed to match the crime. The response needed to be as serious as the crime.
Okay, I just wanted you to know that I'm one person that doesn't believe in making a situation worse, and I've seen some media houses that really thrive on making this, like, raising emotions in the Gukurahundi issue. And this is what I started with, to say people need to be careful. They need to understand that at one point, on one day, there will be a day when you say the whole episode of Gukurahundi has been solved. The same way that they did in Rwanda, the process went through and it ended up being resolved. So that day is coming, and people have to be prepared that one day it will be resolved.
You are making a mistake by even lecturing us on that. There is no one who is waiting for that day like the victims themselves. I've read for you for people who know the date and the time. They are that week. You can't remember what happened to you last week, but he knows what happened in 1984. He knows the date. He knows the time. What does that tell you? It tells you that these people want closure. So it is patronizing. And I'm not buying it for a second to say it's because I don't want to inflame the situation and whatsoever. If you don't want to inflame the situation, you'll have privately said to him, look, my friend, the best thing is to go out there and say, it's clearly that I was not heard in the manner I wish I could be heard. I am very sorry. This whole thing will be dead. This whole thing that you are trying to do, you are gaslighting people, trying to tell them that what they heard, they didn't hear. They must not believe they are lying here.
Senator, I don't agree with you. I don't think you believe that people will stop attacking Commissioner Gutu. I know for a fact that if it's not this, it will be another thing. And I won't be mistaken to say the statement was weaponized. And I've said this to you before. There are some people with an agenda, obviously. And you must not lose sight.
Again, they're insulting the people of Midlands and Matebelele, and to think that they have all agreed that they are going to attack Gutu. Why would they attack Gutu? What is so special about him? Why him rather than everyone else? You know? But anyway, it's okay, Kamba. Let me tell you my view. My view is that there's a faction you are pandering to, and you are anticipating that this is what they want you to do or say. You are wrong. I hope so. I hope you are wrong. You know, you need to be able to have a spine, and for once in your life, speak for the underprivileged. Speak for the voiceless. Use your platform for good. Don't use your platform like what the former Attorney General of America will do. Will stand up and gaslight the whole country. Then when that report came out, he had already lied about it. So don't do that. You have a large platform. Use it for good. God will bless you. That's why yesterday I ended in the manner that I ended. It's because I knew that human beings, you cannot depend on them, but you can depend on God. That's why I directed the people of Midlands and Matepeleland to God, because the Bible says, cursed is a man who trusteth in men, but blessed is a man who makes the Lord his armor and his refuge. And that is where they can go, because where can they go when they are media personalities like you, like this, who want to speak for one person over the pains of so many people? You are not doing anything constructive here, my friend.
Okay, I think let's just, as you say, let's bring this to an end, but let me make an effort to bring Senator Gutu here. He is in the complaints, he's the chairperson of the complaints portfolio, and I think it is our right to have him here and answer, and I'm sure he's watching this. So, and I'm sure a lot of other important people are watching this from Matepeleland, and a lot of my media friends are also watching this, because to me, I think the media is going to be a big part of the solution of the Gukurahundi issue. We need to speak in responsible ways, and I believe that this is what we need to do to get this sorted. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
No, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, even though I'm suspicious of your intentions, but I want to thank you that you were at least brave enough, despite our exchanges privately, that you then brought it publicly here, that we can discuss about it. So I want to thank you for that, because it's important that every viewpoint is heard. So I will close with my daily chorus now. COVID is real. COVID kills. There is a new variant called the Delta variant. I understand it's 60%. It spreads faster, 60% more than the other variants. And when you are vaccinated, it doesn't matter which one, whether it's the Western or European, American, or the Chinese or whatever, you don't suffer as much as those that are not vaccinated. And all deaths right now of COVID, at least in the developed world, they only accounted for people who didn't vaccinate. So those that are vaccinated, no one is dying, at least from the reporting. So I want to say to our people, those that can access vaccines, please vaccinate, especially the vulnerable ones. And let's do social distancing. Let's do the washing of hands. Let us not do unnecessary travel. And let us take care of one another during this difficult time. Those that have many, those that have plenty, share with others. Let no one die of hunger while we are trying to save lives by these measures that we have taken. Thank you so much, my friend, and thank you to the listeners.
Thank you very much, Senator, and I'll see you again next week. And to everyone at home, good night.
Bye-bye.
Uyo, uko, kuno, apo.